We go to Maine.
Why?
Maine's Governor Janet Mills has no problem with dudes who like to feel pretty playing in girls' sports.
Are you retarded?
Donald Trump says, well, you keep on doing that, I'm cutting off the monies.
It is what it is.
I'm Jasper Gonzo on this. Democrats, you got to understand something. When you're playing with this kind of fire, you're going to get burned.
Everything woke turns to shit.
And that's what's next. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Jasper Gonzo. What's next? Your daily dose, common sense, facts, and salt. Hope you guys are feeling good today on this Thursday. Me, I'm feeling a whole lot better than I have over the last 24 to 48 hours. You know, I've been feeling, sluggy or fluey or whatever the hell it was. But hopefully, God willing, it's working its way out. But feeling pretty good. Anyway. The other day, Trump had a meeting with the governors. You know, governors of all 50 states. And the issue of men and women's sports came up. Well, as we all know, Trump signed an executive order to ban men from, dudes who like to feel pretty from women's sports because women's sports are for women's sports. Common sense. But one governor didn't like it too much. And that was the governor of Maine. She's like, yeah, I don't think that's happening. Trump said, yeah, you better comply or I'm cutting the monies off. What was her reaction? Well, it was a nice one, but Trump's response was even better. This coming from the Blaze. President Trump slams Maine's governor for keeping men in women's sports. President Donald Trump has clearly been listening to the American people, as within a month of taking the presidency back, he reclaimed the definition of what it means for a woman to be a woman, is no longer allowing biological men to compete in women's sports. Yes, dudes who like to feel pretty. Yet in the state of Maine, Governor Janet Mills has defied President Trump's order, despite Trump specifically signing an order that states all states will face repercussions if doing so. Quote, Maine is doing just that. Liz Wheeler of the Liz Wheeler Show for The Blaze comments. Maine is defying President Trump and saying that they will continue to allow biological men to play in women's sports. But let's hear a little bit of her.
Now we turn to the state of Maine. Now, a couple weeks ago,
it's about 12 minutes long. I'm not going to play the whole thing because I'll just give you like a little background.
That reclaimed the definition of what it means to be a woman. He reclaimed what the definition of sex discrimination is. This, of course, is the Title IX redefinition that the Biden administration had played around with, where they said sex discrimination doesn't just apply to discrimination against women or discrimination against men. They expanded the definition of sex to include gender identity. Because of that, biological men in schools across the country, and yes, this is happening in schools across the country, biological men were allowed to play on women's sports teams. Biological men were harming women. We showed this a couple months ago. There was a college volleyball game in which a biological man who identified as a woman spiked the volleyball into the face of an actual female on a different team, and that female's face was broken. Well, that's not the only example of it. Riley Gaines, of course, lost to Leah Thomas, formerly known as Will Thomas, a man masquerading as a woman. And a United Nations report said that 900 medals in competitions around the world have been won by biological men pretending to be women in women's competitions. This is not only
remember the Olympics?
Unsafe,
Boxing?
Unfair.
Yeah.
And it completely rejects
Got a gold medal for beating up women in the ring.
Well, thank you to President Trump. He reclaimed the definition of what it means to be a woman, and biological men are no longer allowed to play in women's sports in America. And yet in the state of Maine, which is governed by a far leftist feminist by the name of Janet Mills, she's the governor up there, Maine has defied President Trump's order. Now, in addition to that first order, simply reclaiming the definition of man and woman, President Trump specifically signed an order that said that states will face repercussions if they allow biological men to play women's sports, even if those biological men are pretending to be women.
Now, with that little background, or that little backdrop, Janet Mills of Maine, says, no, I'm still going to continue to do like to feel pretty playing women's sports. And of course, Trump was clearly not amused. Quote, I heard men are still playing in Maine, Trump said to a crowd. Well, I hate to tell you this, but we're not going to give them any federal money. They are still saying they want men to play in women's sports, and I cannot believe they're doing that. So we're not going to give them any federal money, none whatsoever, until they clean that up, he said. In a meeting with the governors, Trump got into what Wheeler calls a war of words with Mills. He, of course, was talking about the executive order banning transgender identifying athletes in sports when she objected. Trump responded by her saying, "You better do it, because if you're not, no more federal money. No more monies for you." According to Reuters, Miller responded with, "We're going to follow that law, sir, and we'll see you in court." Trump shot back, "Enjoy your life after, Governor, because I don't think you'll be elected in politics."
The NCAA has complied immediately, by the way. That's good. But I understand Maine. Is Maine here, the governor of Maine?
Not here.
Are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with state and federal laws.
We are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it, because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply, because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state, good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one. And enjoy your life after, Governor, because I don't think you'll be in elected politics.
It's a short one, but straight to the point. And I'll play the clip of Trump and Maine's governor going back and forth. But anyway, my thoughts. The fact of the matter is that you got knucklehead governors like Janet Mills, like what's her face out of Michigan. You got knucklehead and Newsom in California. You got oh my gosh, I can't believe maybe they're not that important to me, to remember the names of these damn governors. Kathy Hochul. Yeah, Kathy Hochul out of New York, excuse me. But Jamie Pritzker, Michigan. Jamie Pritzker out of Illinois, excuse me. See, now it's all coming back to me. Yeah, that's what happens when you get old. Anyway, Trump made it very clear that by signing this executive order, that if you guys want to continue to get the monies, it's simple. Not only do you not allow guys to play with girls in women's sports, but those, and of course, on top of it, he made it clear with another executive order that, yeah, those titles that men won in women's sports, yeah, you need to get those back. Stripping your titles, stripping the medals. The fact of the matter is that, guess what? Your win doesn't exist because you robbed from a real woman who should have won that. So there's that. But then when you had defiance like this, and it's not a surprise. You had defiance like this in the first term with him, but now it's even more so because he's dropped so many hammers in the first 2 months of his presidency with executive order after executive order after executive order that's making the Dems head spin because they can't come back from it. They don't know how to answer every time they open their mouth. He hits them over the head with another executive order. What are you going to do? So we'll see how this plays out. Is it going to go to court? I don't think so. I don't think Mills is that stupid enough, that defiant enough to basically take this to court because she'll know she'll lose. But I love it. I love it. I love it when they do stupid shit like this because then Trump just nails their ass to the wall. I love it. Absolutely. And with that being said, I'm Jazz Berganzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe to it. Hit that notification bell so you guys never miss a thing. Continue spreading the word about the show. Appreciate you guys watching as always. And we'll see you next time. Peace.